For the past few days, I've been really craving something new, and I decided to be a little bit more creative with this channel and to just kind of record some things and speak from my heart. So my name is Lisette, and I hope you enjoy. So, I think I cleaned the camera well. It's so funny because I was just reflecting that I remember when I first started school for audio production, I had to take a few video classes, and they were literally my favorite, and I ended up doing a gig through the school. So at the time I was going to the Art Institute in Las Vegas, and I got to do a gig where there was was it MMA fighting? And I was just capturing video and stuff, and I wonder if I still have that old photo. I don't know if I have it anymore, but I'm wearing this tan jacket suit, and I have on my little hat, and it's just so funny because I'm as I'm honoring wanting to be more creative in general, but also be more creative within making videos, that video production was something that I really enjoyed. Because even in high school, I remember taking broadcasting classes, and that was also something that I really enjoyed too. So funny, but yeah, indeed. So it's nice to kind of get back to this part of myself and to remember some of the skills and things that have been gathered along the way. Because I think, a lot of the times when we are wanting to when we're wanting to fall in love with life again, that it requires reflecting and remembering these little nuggets, these little memories of things that brought us joy. So I'm just really excited to remember these things more, and to also expand into them more as well. Yeah, because I will say for myself, I don't know about you, how you're feeling with all these different energies that have just been swirling in our collective, but there's been so much of an invitation to slow down. And maybe 2 weeks ago I had gotten a little sick, and I literally was just in bed sleeping, and then when I was up I was just painting, watercolor painting, and just to do simple things to slow down brings the greatest invitation to reconnect with ourselves. So yeah, and the eclipses are about to come up, so indeed. I'm very curious how we'll all move through this eclipse season. So I just got off of a call with a very beautiful soul, and I just wanted to share this little snippet because I was wow, true facts. Because I've been doing a lot of restructuring when it comes to just thinking of business and our offerings and all the things. And it's so interesting because I didn't realize that I don't normally share what's going on or what have you, because sometimes I get a little overwhelmed for what I'm trying to figure out or what I'm looking into. And sometimes when you share with others and then everybody wants to give the support and feedback, which I love, but also sometimes it's a little overstimulating for my system. And my friend who was on the phone, they were just mentioning hey, Like, yes, it's important to go with the flow, but also remember that you have to say and share what you're needing or what you're wanting, so then, that can be received, and then there are more potential pathways which that can come through. And then I was like, sometimes you just need to hear things from other people, especially when you value their words and them as a person. So that was a really nourishing conversation to have that reminder, and to also just remember the gift of how we can all motivate each other or give each other support as we're working towards our goals and what it is that we're trying to achieve. So I feel like if you have been struggling in a particular area with a project or something, and you've been wanting support, haven't asked for it, maybe this is an invitation to do that, or maybe even dropping a comment down below and, putting it out there into the world and seeing if anybody else has something that can be supportive along your journey. Sit up to record a podcast, and it's funny because I haven't actually openly shared about the podcast, because I really want to keep it as something that I'm finding enjoyment in with no pressure. And I've actually been excited to do these. So the podcast, I guess I can officially talk about it now. The podcast is Sacred Words Woven in Time, and the idea is that, normally we're when we're going through the lunar cycles, everyone always talks about the point building up to the new moon, and I honestly feel in my own practice with working with the lunar cycles that I receive the most information in a grounded way about the new or the full moon, or even if it's a first quarter or third quarter moon, or whatever phase the moon is in for that matter, that it's the days after, and it's really beautiful when we allow ourselves to honor that pivotal point, be it the new or the full moon, and to take the time to create the space to integrate the things that were rising to the surface for us in whatever capacity, be it in a way of we're just feeling pulled towards something, or if it's something that we're kind of consciously aware of. And of course, I feel if you work with your natal chart, that you'll have an idea, which is the most beautiful thing I feel of astrology, is not to use the chart to control things or heavily predict things. I mean, you can, but I find for me in my practice, it's when I'm aware of the archetypes, be it the zodiac signs, the planets, the houses, or the places, and the different aspects, but it's an invitation of okay, this is happening, and what is this activating, and how was it activated, and now what am I choosing to do with that energy? So I hope that made sense, but indeed. So if you ever want to listen to the podcast, it's on my Substack, and I also think it gets posted to Spotify. And I'll probably try and put it on other things at some point, but for now, it's just those two, and I'll leave a link if you do want to listen to it in the description. And I think I've recorded, I want to say I've done 2 so far. Let's see. Yeah, I've done 2 so far. So the first one I did was actually really nice because it was during the lunar, oh my gosh. It was during the new moon in Leo, and the second one I did was the full moon in Aquarius. And I always record these after the peak point of the lunation, and then I just talk about the things that I experienced and allow for any channelings or inspirations to pour through me to whomever might listen to it. So if you do choose to listen to it, I hope a specific I hope a specific part sparks. There we go. I try to make those one word. But I hope it sparks or resonates a beautiful string within your heart's chords. Yeah. If there was one thing that I would give as advice to a past version of myself, it would be to keep going. I wanted to do a podcast for a few years, but I always tried to partner with someone else and it never really worked out, and I don't know why I never just went for it, but I'm glad I am now. So one of my favorite things to do in the evening, like when the sun is setting, is to look at the sky this way and then to look at the sky this way, because it's like a gorgeous rainbow and you can just keep turning around. Oh, I love it. I am absolutely in love with being able to utilize astrology to bring awareness towards where focus might be at a specific time, and to know like it's okay if I'm feeling pulled to an area because that's where energy is wanting to go. So I'm really excited about stepping into some projects that have been long overdue. So as we're moving through this season, this time, I invite you to really honor what are some things that you've been wanting to do, but you haven't yet. And are you ready? Hello. All right. So I am actually really excited. I, funny enough, got inspired by the rain. And just the essence of like slowing down, and I am like, wow. I feel like I've been becoming more and more sensitive in like ways that I'm not normally used to, especially when it comes to like my practices and my studies, especially like with my astrology studies, and you know, just connecting with different archetypes and things like that to, you know, pull in supportive information that I want to share, but also to just like learn more about myself and, you know, show up as a full me as I am, human, as we all are always just trying to do. But I got inspired to do like a 30-day devotional, like little practice, if you will, and I'm still like fine-tuning some of the details and also making sure that it's sustainable for me, because sometimes I will get like overly excited and I have to like rein in that Jupiter in my first house. But I thought it would be really nice to do like a 30-day liminal devotional practice, especially since in the month of September we have our eclipses, and then we are also like preparing to move into the seasonal change as well. So I thought it would be really nice to move through a space within community that's accessible to everyone, so it will be free. It is free. So if you're watching this and you want to join, it's through Patreon, and it's like the free members tier. So all you have to do is just click join as a free member, and then you'll get to see all of the posts. And I think that this will be really nourishing, especially because I'm going to do a like anchor card for the week. So it'll be either tarot or oracle, but for the first one that I did a tarot card. And then if I feel called to pull more cards throughout the week to support our community space, depending on what we share or what we talk about, I will. And then there's going to be daily journal prompts, or if there's any like meditations or whatever comes through, to like move through this time with intention. And there's an invitation for each day at 9 p.m. to light a candle, so to do a little candle ceremony. And the intention with that is just like, it's crazy because I was hosting it's actually been coming up, which is expected in the classes that I'm hosting lately, for like meditation and mindfulness specifically. I love always doing like a check-in with everyone to see like where they're at, so if they want to share their name, and then one word for like what's present within them. But it's actually interesting because like most of the time people will share more than one word, which it's fine, because there's stuff sometimes that it's just like, we do want to get it off our chest, we want to say it, and sometimes people don't have those spaces. But anyways, my point being, just a lot of people have just, been expressing, the state of our world, of politics, of just all the things. And I just thought it would be nice, for those who want to join. So if you want to join, and you don't even have to do this through this experience, you can do it on your own as well. But, to just light a candle every night and to essentially just share a prayer or intention for those who are experiencing suffering, and, for the things that are trying to be balanced out karmically, if that's something that you believe in. And, to just remember that, like, that light that we do hold and that sacredness of going into this space to just speak from our heart, to allow ourselves, wow, I feel like I'm gonna cry, but to allow ourselves to cry, if we're feeling sad or angry because of the things that others are having to experience based on choices that others have made, but also choices that we have made in, accepting different things and allowing ourselves to be blind, to other people's suffering, which, so there's so much in that, and I find like I don't really talk about these things because I tend to get emotionally charged, and I'm definitely learning how to mature, specifically with regulating my anger. But like, yeah, so just to have a space where, you know, we're remembering like the world around us, we're remembering our connection to it, to each other, and to remember the gift of like of our connection, and to know that, like, you know, even if we just light the candle and we don't necessarily say anything, that intention in lighting that candle in itself is beautiful. Or, you know, taking like a breath and just imagining that that breath is going to all of those who are experiencing hardship, and imagining that it's just like washing over them and just providing them with even just a moment of like peace in the uncertainty, or just a moment of relief from any pain that they might be experiencing, or a moment to receive love and some essence of softness, of nourishment, or what have you. So, indeed. But yeah, so that, yeah, I just wanted to share that I was making this space, and I'm excited to see how it will continue to unfold. So if there is something that you've been wanting to create, that you feel moved in your heart to create, even if no one shows up physically, you know, I've been like really opening up to the essence lately that, like, even when we think no one is around or nothing is around, you know, there's so many subtle energies and so many layers and different dimensions that, you know, there's always something, someone there, and there's always a support. And if something organically wants to be expressed through you, yeah, I think it should be done. And I've definitely held myself back in that area before. So words of encouragement to you if that's something that, you know, you're moving through or feeling, like, yeah, allow yourself to create it, and to have no expectation, but to know, like, you know, you're showing up because you're showing up in a way that is bringing you joy and excitement and flow, and to just keep going, see where you end up. All right, that's it for me.